Wraith by William Toney. Chapter 28. Unleashing the Storm. Jason's Transformation. Jason Black stood in an abandoned warehouse on the edge of the city, the pendant now hanging heavily around his neck. The energy coursing through him since his transformation was intoxicating, and his senses were sharper than ever. He could feel the subtle movements of air, hear distant whispers, and most dangerously, influence the minds of those around him. Eris lounged on a rusted steel beam above, watching him with a satisfied smirk. "You've taken to this better than I expected," she purred. "Most mortals are crushed by their new abilities, but you thrive." Jason flexed his fingers, feeling the power thrumming beneath his skin. "What's next?" Eris leapt down gracefully, landing without a sound. "What's next is entirely up to you. You've been given a gift, Jason, a chance to rewrite the city's story. But first, there's a loose end we need to tie up." Jason's jaw tightened. "The Wraith." Eris's smile widened, cold and predatory. "Precisely. He's a thorn in my side, and now he's your rival. If you can break him, you'll prove that you're not just my avatar, you're my equal." Jason's gaze burned with determination. "I'll find him." Eris stepped closer, her golden eyes locking onto his. "Good. And remember, Jason, your power is a blade. Wield it wisely, and you'll carve your name into the heart of this city." Wright's panic. Charles Wright paced the length of his office, his thoughts a chaotic jumble. The disappearance of his pendant left him feeling exposed, vulnerable. He'd relied on Eris's power to elevate his ambitions, and now, without her presence, his world was unraveling. A knock at the door made him jump. "What is it?" he barked. One of his aides stepped inside, looking nervous. "Sir, the council is asking for an update on your proposal. They're growing impatient." Wright glared at the man, his frustration boiling over. "Tell them I'll address it when I'm ready. Now leave me." As the aides scurried away, Wright collapsed into his chair, gripping the edges of his desk. He had to find a way to regain control, to reclaim the pendant or something to restore his edge. Eris's voice echoed in his mind, sharp and taunting. "You're nothing without me, Charles." He clenched his fists, his resolve hardening. "I'll show you. I'll show them all." Aaron and Allistor's discussion. Aaron stood on a rooftop overlooking the city, his thoughts heavy. Allistor appeared beside him, his golden eyes gleaming with mischief. "The boy's taken the bait," Allistor said, his voice smooth. "Jason is Eris's new avatar, and he's drunk on her power." Aaron's jaw tightened. "You planned this. You wanted him to take the pendant." Allistor smirked. "Of course I did. Chaos breeds opportunity, Aaron. Jason's recklessness will draw Eris out, make her vulnerable." Aaron turned to face him, his anger simmering. "You're using him, just like you're using me." Allistor's smile faded, his expression turning serious. "And what do you think she's doing? Eris isn't a trickster for her amusement alone. Every move she makes is calculated to keep you off balance. If you want to beat her, you need to think beyond morality." Aaron's fists clenched. "I'll stop her, but I won't become like you." Allistor chuckled darkly. "We'll see." Lilah's training begins. Lilah stood in an empty park, the silver bracelet on her wrist glowing faintly. The spirit spear materialized in her hand, its ethereal light casting long shadows across the grass. The entity's voice guided her, calm and authoritative. "Focus, Lilah. Your strength comes from your resolve. The spear is an extension of your will." She took a deep breath, her fingers tightening around the weapon. With a swift motion, she hurled the spear at a distant tree. It struck the trunk with a burst of light, splintering the bark before dissolving into the air. Lilah staggered, the exertion leaving her breathless. "How many of these can I summon?" The entity's voice softened. "You must learn your limits. Each spear draws from your energy. Use them sparingly, and they will serve you well." Lilah nodded, determination hardening in her chest. "I won't let this power go to waste." The entity's tone grew more solemn. There is more at stake than you realize. Allistor, Eris, the Wraith, each plays a part in a much larger conflict. You are the balance, Lilah. Never forget that. The ambush. Jason prowled the streets, his new abilities guiding him. He could sense thoughts, fragments of fears and desires, drifting from the people around him. It was intoxicating and overwhelming. Ahead, he spotted Aaron walking alone. A slow smile spread across Jason's face as he stepped into the open. "Wraith!" Aaron stopped, his senses alert. He turned to face Jason, his expression unreadable. "You've been following me." Jason shrugged, his hand resting on the pendant. "Call it curiosity, but I want to know why. Why do you keep holding back? Do you really think they will reform? Once scum, always scum? They need to be destroyed." Aaron's eyes narrowed. "It's not about destruction. It's about justice." Jason laughed, the sound sharp and mocking. "Justice? That's a joke. You're too soft, Wraith. These people don't deserve your mercy." Aaron stepped closer, his voice steady. "And what do you deserve, Jason?" Jason's smile faded, replaced by cold determination. "Power." Before Aaron could respond, Jason activated the pendant, his presence surging with unnatural energy. The air around him shimmered as faint whispers filled the alley, voices Aaron couldn't place. The confrontation was electric, the tension crackling between them. Aaron prepared for a fight, his shadows coiling around him. Jason smirked, his confidence unshaken. "Let's see who's stronger," Jason said, his voice laced with venom. The battle was inevitable, and both men knew it.